Hi, I'm Joan Newcomb, and today's morning musings is paddling through life. I'm doing daily morning musings, and I'm using articles from my blog, Adventures in Density and Effort, as inspiration. Now, I wrote these a while back, and the world has totally transformed since then. So if I encounter something that feels out of date as I am reading, I am going to interrupt myself, and I will give you the most recent information. And at the end, if it's necessary, I'll summarize the topic based on what's going on in the world today. I also have some special offers, so stay tuned to the very end to see what they are. Paddling through life. I've been following Roz Savage, who's currently rowing her way from Hawaii to Australia, having previously rowed across the Atlantic and also from San Francisco to Hawaii. It's been fascinating to watch her podcasts and read her blog entries. One entry struck me as an apt metaphor for her life. I don't have as much maneuverability with a rowboat, say, as sailors have. I can influence but not totally control my direction. Say the wind is blowing me west, as it is, and I point my boat south, as I do, then I end up going southwest, or south-southwest, or west-southwest, depending on the strength of the wind and I suppose the strength of my rowing. She's affected by convergent zones and currents, which are shifting and changing all the time. She says, I should know by now that oceans are no respecters of human schedules. I've never yet been on an open ocean voyage, either by sailboat or rowboat, that ended up where it was supposed to be, at the time it was supposed to be, and that's just the way it is. To paraphrase Winnie the Pooh's comment on heffalumps, you can never tell with oceans. Doesn't that sound like one's journey through life in general? You can point your nose in one direction and then life intervenes. Energetically, morphic fields look like convergent zones and currents. Collective thought clouds, emotional waves, move across our path, shifting our direction one way or the other. It doesn't work to control things beyond our rowboat. It's as futile as swinging your oar in the wind. The best you can do is keep on paddling, using whatever spiritual or energetic tools or techniques that you have at your disposal to keep moving. Although you can also pull your oars in for the night and let the current gently take you wherever it will. From your expanded self's point of view, it doesn't really matter whether you're sweating away or sailing along. It's all a very fun and exciting ride. So I'm going to summarize. I interviewed Roz Savage for my radio show, and it was really interesting. Since I wrote this article, she actually went on to row the Indian Ocean as well. She'd had a really tough time from Hawaii. She was intending to go from Hawaii down to Australia and had a really hard time getting across the equator. And there was all sorts of other problems as well. And she ended up, I've forgotten the name of the island, but the island itself was a really good illustration of the effects of climate change. They were in the process of moving all their young people to Australia because in a decade or so, that island could be underwater with climate change. And then she went on to row the Indian Ocean, and it was very interesting. They gave an announcement. She was in contact with her team by sat phone the whole way, and she'd made an announcement that she was redirecting up to some other place. And the real reason was, I think she was heading towards something like Madagascar off the coast of Africa, and there was a problem with pirates, so they didn't want to broadcast her location. Very interesting, very fun. I think she started off in the corporate world and was inspired to start rowing oceans after doing an exercise. I think she wrote her own epitaph. She realized that the life she was living was a very boring one, and her heart called her to do something much more unbelievably expansive. So there are links below to her books. I highly recommend you reading them for incredible inspiration. And summarizing the whole topic about just keep paddling, I think we'd get into conflict between our expanded selves, using that term, I would say ourselves as consciousness nowadays, and our physical form, because as consciousness, anything you think of or conceive of, you have created a parallel universe where that already is the case. Your physical body in the here and now is just paddling this particular pool or this particular ocean, and it kind of freaks your body out if you as consciousness move off to a parallel universe and there's nobody paddling the boat. But, consciousness really loves all the physical experiences. Consciousness really loves your physical experience and what your body is currently doing. And if you, your personality or whatever aspect of yourself want to be doing something else, when you and your body come into agreement about the direction you're paddling, that's when reality manifests quicker and in ways you couldn't possibly imagine. So I invite you to take the next 7 days to shift your viewpoint about your own life. If you're in effort about trying to make things happen, or you feel like you're stuck and you're going nowhere, just relax and enjoy the ride instead and see what happens. and leave a comment below. I love to read your comments. And if you want a free sample of one of my consciousness techniques, click on the link below to the skybox technique. It'll give you a bigger perspective of your life in the ocean that you're in. And I also have a self-study course, Manifesting Money and Miracles. It's a great beginning course on how to embody frequencies. It helps you change your inner state. And by doing that, it changes your whole reality. So you can click on the link below to get yourself Manifesting Money and Miracles. There's actually two different versions of the course. There's an audio version, so you can just listen to it, and then there's a series of videos. They're both essentially the same information. It's just two different ways of taking it in, and actually two different price levels as well. And if you want to know more, my website is joan-newcomb.com. I do individual sessions where I take a look at the essence of who you are and what's going on in your life today, and I can answer any questions that you have, whether it's to do with relationship, your future, your workplace, money. I can also talk to dead people, and I record it just for you. And if you want to do this for yourself, my self-study Manifesting Money and Miracles is a great foundational course and a good preparation for my coaching special, where I work with you one-on-one and I give you specially selected consciousness techniques so that you can transform your life. So go to my website, joan-newcomb.com, and I'll see you tomorrow in another Morning Musings.